Good morning, y'all. I want to talk to y'all about a few things, okay? And the reason why I want to bring this up because, I keep seeing different situations where people are talking about conflicting things. And I want to bring light to a couple of things that people don't understand because the reality of it is this, right? In the world we live in, you have masculine and you have feminine energy, right? So let's break that down. What is masculine and feminine energy? Masculine energy is the ability, okay, to be assertive, aggressive, and basically a frontline leader, okay? And feminine energy is the ability to take a back seat and understand that masculinity is going to give you and lead you to a place where you don't have questions or need to understand something because it's self-explanatory. Okay? And what I mean by that is, I'll give you an example. We'll go to animals. Okay? So, the one animal that I always, use as a point of reference, because let's talk about it. The king of the jungle, right? The lion. Okay? And the lion being the king of the jungle and a masculine alpha is very significant. Okay? Because lions, the male lion, okay, if anybody knows the truth about the dynamics with lions, is male lions don't hunt. Okay, it's the female that hunts. The female is actually bigger than the male lion. Okay, and so the female lion hunts while the male lion stays at home with the cubs and watches the kingdom, right? Now, when we talk about that aspect of it, it doesn't just mean the children that he created with that lion, okay? It means the mother, the aunt, the sisters, the female cousins, everybody that is a part of that pride. That one lion is protecting, and not just protecting their own, they're protecting their family. It's a pride, okay? So the biggest issue with the human males is that in the black community have gotten away from, we always had core values and ethics, okay? And those core values and ethics never involved money. Money was always a part of life for human civilization in the modern time. But we have gotten away from the understanding that money never drove families, okay? The reason why people lead and use money as the number one focal point in any situation now is because it's a means to control, okay? If you look at the way that modern women talk now, okay, you look at radio shows, you look at talk shows, you look at podcasts that involve women as the host, they talk about high earning men provide protecting and security and money, and what the ability that money gives you when you don't have to struggle, right? But here's what's funny. Black people have always struggled. Okay? And so the thing that has always drove us to be a collective, strong unit was the family origins. Okay, and the problem with today's society is that everybody doesn't want that family origins to be the way it once was. They want to be the family origins where the man is out making money, doing this, doing that, right? And you rarely see him. Okay, basically when he wants to come home and be a part of his household, it's a choice. Okay, because I'm doing whatever it takes to make us millions, so we don't have to struggle, and you won't have to shut up and just enjoy it. That's what it is, and that's why a lot of women today are filing for divorces. Because we're going to be honest, okay, the only women that want that man to be 100% available is usually women who have kids with that man. Okay? And what I mean by available is that women don't want to sit at home and take care of kids and cook and clean and do all that stuff anymore, because in today's society that's a very hard task. It's not like back in the day where you can assign things to your kids, chores and things like that, and they just do them. No, kids today, they have a lot going on neurologically, and so a lot of kids have autism, ADHD, learning disabilities today, things like that. Now, people had those things back in the day, but guess what? It wasn't as bad as it is now. So women don't want the 100% provider anymore. And I'm talking about women who actually want a relationship, not women who want to enjoy an experience which you have financially so she could brag to the world about. And I'm not saying women don't have money, okay? Women who are career driven or money driven to create their own money are usually women that want that down the middle relationship. It's basically like 50-50, like people say, but it's in a different way. And what it is that, okay, you have money, I have money, okay? But you're not going to control me, and I'm not going to control you. And we're going to be together until we can't function together anymore, and then we're going to split. These people don't want to have kids. They don't want to have a family. They're both entitled. So now you got two masculine people in a relationship. Okay, so guess what? What happens? What happens with that? Okay, that relationship fails because now the woman is equal to you or somewhere close to you financially. So now she doesn't need you. So now she wants her opinions to matter, which isn't a problem. She wants her home, decisions to matter, which isn't a problem. And she wants the ability to do what she do outside the home like you do. But here's the problem, okay? Women and men are different. Women are emotional about everything. Men have emotions. Women are emotional about everything, right? So let's just say you're having a hard time at home. Something's not going right? If she's on your level financially, what usually happens is that it's easier for her to go out and have a conversation with another man and gain an emotional attachment to that man because she's unhappy right now. Opposed to men, if a man goes out and talks to another woman, it has nothing to do with love. It has nothing to do with care. It's just the experience that he gravitates towards. Okay? It could be just some random woman that he walks up to and has a conversation with, and it don't matter where it goes. Okay? And women don't usually move like that unless they've been through trauma. And when women move like men, they've been traumatized and hurt. There's no such thing as healing from trauma either. Okay? And so when people say this thing, oh, you need to heal for a relationship. You're not healing. All you're doing is you're building up tolerance, or you're not building up tolerance. You're not going to tolerate. It's either one of those two things. Okay, what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate. That's all it is. You're not healed. And the reason why the tolerance thing comes into play is because what you went through before is your tolerance level. So stop making it seem like you healed when you didn't, because if you healed, guess what? You understand that everybody's different and everybody's going to make mistakes. Okay? But if you see the same mistakes and patterns in this man that you've seen in the past, you're not giving him a fair chance because you're blaming him for the mistakes that he knew he was probably going to make, but you're not going to let him do it because someone else did it to you in the past. You see what I'm saying? That's one. Number two, guys, you have to stop this thing where if I have more money than her, I can control her. Why do you want to control an adult woman? Okay. Why is that a thing? Because any dude, and I'm talking about guys that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, right? You seen your mama and your daddy at home. If they were together, there was no dad controlling. It was your mama that controlled your dad, okay? And I'm not saying it to be disrespectful, but your dad couldn't talk crazy to your mom. Your dad couldn't come at your mom sideways, because if she did, she was going upside his head. Okay, and that's not masculinity. That's just keeping it real. So this notion that I'm going to control my woman before she goes into the arms of another man, she's going, if she don't want you, she don't like you, she's going to go into the arms of another man, whether you got money or you don't. It's her choice. What she wants to tolerate and deal with is up to her. Okay? Now, if you're going to keep moving around and getting married to different women because you want control, go ahead, knock yourself out. But you might as well just date instead of being in relationships. Because if you're just going to keep jumping in and out of relationships because you want control when they don't want to give it to you, it's stupid. So like I said, back to the lion pride thing, that's why lion stables work the way that they do, because that male is that security fence and that female go out there and get it. And I'm not saying that dynamic works for everybody, but if you get a relationship where that dynamic will work, it works, okay? Another thing I wanted to talk on, this masculine and feminine energy thing, is dating women or being in a relationship or married to women with kids, to women with kids, okay? So we're going to get back to the village thing that we used to talk about in the Black community. I remember me personally, my mom talking and dating to guys, right? That man that used to give you $1, he wasn't your dad. He was your mom's partner, okay? Anywhere he would see you, he would give you $1. Oh, hey, that's my girl's son, blah, 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 this and that. So why all of a sudden now it's a bad thing when men have been doing that all for centuries, dealing with single moms? Why is it a bad thing now? You don't want to be in a relationship with a single mom, but you don't want kids either. Then you have kids and you abandon them once the woman leaves you. So what do you want her to just be available to you when you want her? No, that's control. And that's why masculine energy is all messed up today. That's why feminine energy is the way it is now. Because everything is meshing together and making this masculine / feminine aura type situation. And it's not what it is. That's why people need to, You need to have a conversation with your significant other or whoever you're going to be with in the beginning and express how you are and how they are and how you can align together. Okay? And if they have kids and you have kids, how is that going to align together? If, your family dynamic is this, her family dynamic is that, see how, get that to align together so you both are on the same page. This whole thing with leading with money is just crazy to me. Provide, protect, lead, okay? Provide, okay? As long as you're doing what you got to do at home, that's providing. Protecting is that door should never be answered by your woman or your kids, okay? Leading, if you have something that you're good at, bring it to the table. Hey, I know you're used to doing it like this, but hey, I got something that might work a lot better. You see what I'm saying? But she may have some things that she's good at as well that might help your family dynamic. It has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with masculine energy. If you're a leader, you listen. You're the ability to listen and understand. So in the future, things don't go down the downward arc. They're always going up because you're always getting information from your significant other about how to make things better in the house. You don't know everything. Men don't know everything. Women don't know everything. That's why you and your significant other need to ping information off each other. Leading has different sets of eyes. It looks different all the time. Okay? When you sit down with your woman and you explain things to her and y'all come up with y'all family, whatever y'all got going on. How we going to handle the kids this day? How we going to handle the kids this day? How we going to go out? How we going to do this? How we going to do that? When you sit down, both of you are pinging information off of each other. So you come up with a foolproof plan so things don't, go south. That's how a relationship works. A man is only as strong as his woman. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.